Hi, this is JP Morgan.
And this is Kenneth Merrill.
And this is Shasta Marina. She's a lot of fun. She's from Hawaii by way of Redlands, by Hollywood, by...
Whoa.
something like that. We've got the Sigma 50mm 1.4 lens. We're going to take a look at that compared to
the Panasonic Lumix S Pro 50mm 1.4. Both of these lenses are L-mount lenses, which is kind of becoming a bigger deal as time goes on. It used to be that Leica was the only one making L-mount cameras, but now Panasonic has L-mount cameras. Sigma has a new L-mount camera.
Yeah, it's much more used in the industry than it has been in a long time. And of course, as always, Sigma comes in at a fraction of the cost, at like just over $800 compared to almost $2,300.
$300 for a 50mm 1.4.
So let's take a look at these. Let's see if the Sigma is as sharp, if it's as fast, the autofocus, and also let's look at the bokeh. Just compare the bokeh, and then last of all, we'll probably just look at a good picture quality test. So we'll start first with that picture quality test. Let's get to it.
So the first thing that most people are going to assume when they spend more than twice the money on a lens is that it's going to be a lot nicer on the image. It's going to be a lot sharper, have better color, have better contrast. I would sure hope so.
Pay that kind of money, you want to be sharper, prettier, you know, you want it to pick up lunch.
Exactly. So here we have both lenses. All the settings are exactly the same. And first of all, in terms of sharpness, it looks identical to me.
They look absolutely sharp,
really
sharp.
They're both super sharp. The first impression I have is that the Panasonic does have a little bit more contrast.
It is a nicer image, there's no doubt about it. Is it monumentally nicer? It's got a little more contrast, it's just a little nicer.
But overall, they look very similar.
Okay, very similar. So you don't get a better picture when you spend more than $1,400.
Now we're going to do the autofocus test. This is a really important test these days because one of the most important things your lens can do is focus. Well, here we have screen captures of both lenses, and the cameras, we're focusing on infinity, and then we're bringing it to her face right after. And we do this several times with each camera.
Those are exactly the same, man.
Yeah,
those are exactly the same.
I mean
they're so similar.
So similar.
So do you get faster autofocus when you spend that kind of money?
Not really.
No, not really. So we're going to do a lens sharpness test. The reason I use the Spider Lens Cal, I love this little device because I will try to get my camera as square as possible to the flat part of the Spider Lens Calibrator, but then I've got this graduating scale, so if I miss it a little bit, I'll see the focus up and down that scale. If it's not exactly on zero, it might be up a little bit, but the idea is not to find the point of critical focus, but it's to see how in focus it is at its most critical focus point.
And then
which it looks like I kind of missed the one. It looks like on the...
You missed the 0 on the Panasonic?
Yeah, it was more at 1 than it was on the 0. But we still have a place to look at that's absolutely in focus.
I want to slide down here to 4 and 5 on the Panasonic, and we'll go down to the 3 and the 4 on the Sigma, because that's the same, relatively the same point in the focus. Look at that weird color ghosting stuff that's happening on the Sigma.
It's happening in all the areas that are out of focus, which is really interesting.
It's like this red and this green.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The other is just falling out of focus and is very clean looking. This one is getting some kind of crossover. I mean, it's almost like it falls out of focus more, but it isn't that. It's that there's these colors starting to develop.
Yeah. You do get that for $1,300.
You do get that. You don't get that.
You don't
get that for the extra $1,300. You don't get that for the extra $1,300.
There you go. A solid advantage, I would say.
Yes.
But let's look at a real world photo. So let's go to our 1.4 photo here on both of her. First of all, the most contrast we're going to find in this image is down on these little buttons here. And I'm not really seeing anything there. Let's go up to like her hairline. Do we see any of that weird colory stuff in her hairline? I'm not really seeing it there either. Maybe her eyelashes.
It seems cleaner to me the way that the Panasonic falls out of focus than the way the Sigma does.
I just look all around at this image for that weird colory stuff or anything that looks strange, and I'm not really finding it.
I'm not really seeing it.
So
bokeh. How about bokeh?
The bokeh does look actually, I think, nicer on the Sigma at 1.4. It's more round.
It's very round on the 1.4, whereas it's more football looking on the Panasonic.
Let's go to 2.0 on these cameras real fast. Here, the Sigma starts to go a little oval, and the Panasonic's more round, which is interesting. Now let's go to a 4. So you're not really getting the bokeh here, but this is where the Panasonic does shine.
Here's where the money is. Here's where the money is.
The Panasonic has more blades.
It does. So that bokeh is going to be a little less hexagonal when you get here to f4. Which one of these is the lens that you would buy? Why are you wasting your money on brand name lenses?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing is that $1,300 extra dollars you're going to spend on the Panasonic gets you a little less chromatic aberration in the out of focus portions of some images that have very high contrast, you know, fine detail, and it has slightly more pleasant bokeh at times and slightly more contrast, which can be adjusted in post. So
the reality is there isn't a huge advantage. You know, I had hoped to see that there was. You would look at this and say that this lens just blows the Sigma out of the water. It's sharper. It's you know, all these things, but it just didn't perform in that way. And so looking at these two, I'd buy the Sigma. Save your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go back to the picture quality test here again. If you just showed this picture to anybody, if you added a little contrast to the Sigma and then showed it to anybody, they would probably say it's the same lens and the same camera.
Yeah.
I would buy the Sigma, and then I would buy another Sigma.
Yeah, that's right.
And I would still have $200 or $300 left over.
And still got to dinner. So there you have it. Not that the Panasonic is a bad lens. It is not a bad lens. It's very well made. It performs all the way across. It's excellent. It's just, it's hard to beat the way the Sigma comes in. The price point it comes in and what it delivers for that price point, it's pretty hard to beat.
So why are you wasting your money on name brand lenses? Tell us in the comments. Tell us what we got wrong. Tell us your experiences with third-party lenses, and if you think it's really worth the money.
So all you Panasonic folks out there, beat us up in the comments. Tell us how much we really blew it here. But the reality is, I think it kind of speaks for itself. So leave us a comment. Follow us here on Slanted Lens. Keep those cameras rolling.
And keep on clicking.
Hey, I'm packing up to go out on location, but I wanted to make sure you knew about an announcement that's coming here in 2 weeks. I want to make sure you don't miss out on it. I can't really say anything about it today, but it's going to come out in 2 weeks. I don't want you to miss out. So make sure you're following all of our social media because we're going to make sure those people know first. So keep with us, interrupting this video just to make sure you know that because I don't want you to miss out. All right, I better get back to packing.